welcome. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that wind. Feels good. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. My weekly broadcast of the Christ Letters. And I just have to say happy anniversary to Deep Ministries, 1 year since we started this channel. And I just want to take the time out to thank everyone for your support. Everyone. Um, I didn't know what to expect when I started. I'm still no not I still don't know what to expect as I go on. And when I see some of the videos from where I've started to where I am right now, I can see the growth, not only in the physical numbers, but even in the material that's been covered on this channel. It blows my imagination. You know, when I think, oh, this is what the channel's gonna go on, there's something. Let me tell you, when the Bible talk about deep calling onto deep, I have no idea. I couldn't even imagine what that means. Um, but that's the universe. That's what our God is. Keep expanding and keep growing. That's who our God is. And so I am thankful. There's no limit. There's no limit to, we can't even fathom who our God is, but we know the law of this universe is to grow, is to expand. And I just pray and I thank you all. Thank you for the support, friends, family members, all those who even don't know me and have opened up to this channel in your household and have given us your time that can. It's it's your higher self. It's your soul right that you have to learn. We're living in a wonderful time, wonderful time. And there's something that this channel can help you. The goal on this earth is for us to wake up. And woman, the divine, multi-dimensional man and woman of God is to wake up. And I'm happy if somehow this channel can help you do that. If you're watching this channel, if you see me, I'm telling you, it's not about me. The goal is for you to wake up. Goal is for you to wake up. And I am thankful. Thank you all. All. Thank you for all your support and everything. So we're gonna continue reading the Christ letters today. Um, so Friday, this past weekend, we read it. Oh my gosh. And it's talking about sexuality. It's talking about the role of man and woman and what a true sexuality is. Spiritual. We read something that really shook me since Saturday when Christ talked about Adam and Eve, and um, he said that the what happened in the garden has allowed certain individuals to label woman as temptress, to label woman as temptress. But he's like, no. And you could go back and read that. We uploaded it, but basically saying what happened in the garden is allegory. It's allegory. It has a hidden meaning, a deeper meaning. I almost fell to the floor. So you're telling me that what happened in the garden what we read, the Adam and Eve story, we think we all came from Adam and Eve. Although I think Adam and Eve is just another, if there's an Adam and Eve, they're not the first people. They're not the first people. Because we know Cain they when they kicked Cain out of the garden, he went outside, he went and married somebody else. So we know that. That makes sense. But um personally, I think this is the last generation that's created. So I think they talk about Saturn, Jupiter. I think we constantly, the earth is constantly, we talk about expanding and growing. And we are the last in here that's gonna coming up now, it's gonna expand, and then another one is gonna come in the middle. But one thing I notice that it's probably the same characters with different names. It's probably same characters with different names is playing from generation to generation. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around. And that's why the Bible said study. We have no excuse. Nothing's hidden from us. I know we think things are hidden from us, but to avoid karma, the enemy of this earth has to reveal everything to us. Because if you think about it, I do think there's divine beings that came to this earth. And if you listen to the other gospelers, last night I listened to the secret book of John, the secret book of John. And let me tell you, when he said Cain and Abel, let me tell you what the secret, what threw me to the floor. Cain and Abel is Yahweh and Elohim. Huh? It's Yahweh and Elohim. You know what the Gospel of Philip said? That Cain and Abel, their father is the devil. Let me tell you, if you out there watching me somehow, watching this video today, I'm trying to find somehow other gospelers that lined up with Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that their word is exactly as Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So far, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Philip, the Secret Book of John. I'm still learning. I'm listening to the Gospel of Nicodemus, and he's talking about Christ's crucifixion and all that. Please, if you're listening to this, there's other Gospels, the Apocrypha, the Apocrypha. Read those gospels. Read those gospels. All these questions that we're asking today, those disciples asked Christ and he answered all of them. The gospel of Mary, Christ's mother. That's gonna be my next one. Oh, oh. And see how those gospel relate to each other than the gospel that we read in the Bible today. That the gospel that was that than the books that Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John was chose to put in the Bible. The others weren't chosen to put in the Bible. So this is where we're at. Okay, so yeah, Christ was like um Christ was like the Adam and Eve story is allegory. There's a deeper meaning to it. There's a deeper meaning to the Adam and Eve story, and I'm here pondering my head since Saturday, and I'm like, what's that deeper meaning? What's that deeper meaning? And it depends on whose interpretation we believe, though, because the Bible talked about um Adam was created first, and they took the ribs off his body. They took the ribs on his ribs to create Eve. That's what the Bible talk about it. Well, that's what the Bible said. The Nag Hammadi text said. But all three of them said that Adam was created by the archons. Adam was created by the fallen angels. His flesh was. All except the Bible. Except the Bible. But um Adam wasn't created by the way Eve was created. Let's put it like that. Adam wasn't created the way Eve was created. They were both the secret book of John and the Nag Hammadi text says Adam was created by the archons. And the archons, they did him real bad. They did him real bad. And but if you understand who God is, I know I did a video on this earlier. If you understand the enemy is never ahead of the spirit realm. The spirit realm, the people, the divine beings in the spirit realm, I already know the intentions of the enemy. Already know. So while they were creating Adam, they were creating Eve. Eve was the true Eve was created in the spiritual realm. If you look between the secret book of John and the Nag Hammadi text, and if you're out there and you have another interpretation, another writing, you read something else about Adam and Eve, let me hear in the comments. Yeah. So between the Nag Hammadi text and the secret book of John and the cuneiforms, the Sumerian text with the Anunnaki. No one said that Eve was created from Adam's ribs. No one says that except the Bible. But the woman, all right, so the woman that was created from Adam, it was after divine source blow his breath in Adam, and the divine spirit went inside of him, even though the archons created his flesh. And that's to show you that we are more than this flesh. We have a soul and we have a spirit, and it's two different things. And I just came into the understanding of this. Our soul and our spirit are two different things. So though even though the archons, even though the enemy create the enemy of this world, I call them the archons, and you can call them whatever, because they were half they were why do you be like, why the enemy was able to create an aspect of, not one of them, I think an aspect of them, because remember, law of polarity the law of polarity. You're not all bad. And remember that the enemy, the archon, was also created. So according to the book of John, how the archon was created was Sophia. After the creation, there was, source was there, and thought came in, and that's how thought thought came in and start creating divine beings. I think Sophia was created. And remember, everybody is androgynous. Please don't look at sex and creation and reproduction as we do. So everyone was androgynous. So I guess Sophia, once everybody's creating, and Sophia wanted to create, but she didn't um got permission from the masculine side of her. She didn't get permission from the masculine side of her. She only went and did it by herself. So it came out half good and half bad. That's who the archon is. So the archon still have power, and he creates and he created hate. He created jealousy. He created what the things we experience in this flesh. Let me tell you, the things we experience in this flesh, jealousy, um, hate, um, addictions and all that. They created um those are the spirits that created Adam, created the flesh, created the flesh, created the flesh. So Adam was created by the archons, and I always call archons. You want to call him enemy, you could call him enemy because he's enemy of the spiritual realm, always trying to get over on our Father. And okay, so Adam was created by the archons. His breath, as the Bible says, the source breathed into him and gave him his soul. That's not his spirit. That's not his spirit. That's his soul. Source, he became a living soul. Source breathed into him, even though the archons created him. And if we look in the Bible, I know a lot of teachers says in the beginning, God, not the God, gods. So gods, the Elohims created Adam. And all right, so Eve now. Eve was created according, and I'm using the interpretation of the secret book of John and the Nag Hammadi text. So Eve now was created by the beings in the spiritual realm because they know what the archons were planning on, what were doing on earth in the Garden of Eden. Because so Eve now is that divine spirit. Eve is that divine spirit. So when Eve came down on earth, he went into Adam and gave Adam that spirit. So Adam became, remember, he's getting the divine spirit from heaven. Adam became a powerful man, a powerful man. He was more powerful than the people who created him. And that's what I think is going on today. That's what I think is going on today. That's why the Christ letter is saying the Adam and Eve story have a deeper meaning. That Adam was even powerful. Adam was more powerful than his creators. And that's what I think who we are. That's why we're in this time of an awakening, that we who are still asleep, we who are still asleep and don't have the knowledge of who we are more powerful than those who are ruling over us. And they know it. And they know it. So so they became jealous. So they became jealous. And so they know that the spirit is now Adam have a spirit, now Adam have a soul. They became so jealous and they did a lot of things to him. But just get to the point where um so when I don't remember how he fell asleep, just like the Bible said. And please, if you're listening to me, go read the secret book of John and the Nag Hammadi text. When Adam fell asleep, they know that we call her Eve, but the divine spirit was inside of him. So they cut out his ribs. They cut out, I don't think it's the ribs, some part of him, because they want to take it out. They want to take, these archons, they don't think about stuff, but they couldn't get to the spirit. So they took out a part of Adam and make the Eve that we read about, and make the Eve that we read about. So that's why Adam says she's bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, because she did come from Adam. And the archons, oh my gosh, because they thought they got this divine spirit. Oh, we got her, and we're gonna create babies from her, and they're gonna be evil and all that. They couldn't get the divine spirit. The divine spirit is it is so way ahead of them. And the divine spirit, that's what we call Eve. That's what we call the Holy Spirit. And they couldn't get it, but when they try, because they did that to Adam because they want to get rid of the spirit because they know that they know that Adam was more powerful than his creator because they sent her down from heaven and gave him gave Adam that divine spirit. Yeah. And so Adam woke up and have his wife there. But what the Archons did, because they think, oh, we're gonna get to this Holy Spirit now, and we're gonna have babies with her. But it wasn't the Eve. It's another creation, but people call her Eve. So that's where we at today. And they had sex with her. They had sex with her. And that's how Cain and Abel was created. Cain and Abel is not Adam's babies. And while I got this revelation, I know someone on TikTok was talking about the same thing. All right, if you want to know if Cain and Abel was Adam's children, why did in Genesis it said the descendants of Adam starts with Seth? The descendants of Adam starts with Seth, not Cain and Abel. And if you read the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Philip says Cain and Abel's father, they were the devil. When I read that the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Cain and Abel's father is the devil. Yep. So this is where we're at. So I think, why is the Holy Spirit bringing of the creation? This is the time we're in. And there's an aspect of the Trinity that's been missing, and that's the Holy Spirit. And it's time for her to rise up. She's gonna come. I know I'm getting in my meditation, the day of Pentecost. It's her who's gonna pour out her spirit upon all flesh. Just like did to Adam, she's gonna come in and pour out her spirit upon her children. And if you see how this world is set up, is an attack on that divine feminine, because all the pastors were right. All the pastors were the garden that Adam, and we are Adam's fallen race. The enemy is still mad that Adam, their creation, because of the Holy Spirit, um, was more powerful than them. So in this world we live in, if you're being conscious and your eyes are open, they have to know everything about the female is a temptress. Everything about the female is bad, and whoever is following that path in helping the enemy of this world degrade the female like that don't even know it, that they're degrading a part of the Trinity. Yes, the Holy Spirit is a female, is the feminine aspect of the Trinity. The Holy Spirit is. And there's a law of gender, masculine, feminine. This is a law of the universe. And on this realm, it's separate on other realms. One person, and even though it's separate to us in our body, we have estrogen, we have testosterone. So we have a masculine and a feminine aspect in us. So in this earthly realm, it's right now, it's the return of the divine feminine. And if you're awakened and if you're spiritual, I'm sure that's what's going to start coming into your spirit. Because as soon as I start this, I see a lot of people talking about the divine feminine. All right. And yeah, we're going to go into our reading today. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because let me tell you, I was lost when I saw that. But yes. Adam and Eve's story, Christ says, is an allegory. It has a deeper meaning for us today. It has a deeper meaning for us today. Yeah, because wonderful time. Wonderful time we're living in. God's doing mighty things, mighty, mighty, mighty things, mighty things, coming into the knowledge of who we are, you know, coming into the knowledge of who we are. And this is, as I said at the beginning, this is what everything is about. This is what everything is about. Who are we? You know, you are divine beings. You are divine beings. You are divine beings. This is what everything is about. This is for, if you're listening to me, you understand that you are not just this flesh. Adam wasn't, and so aren't you. You are a divine being who needs to wake up and come into the knowledge of who you are. There's gonna be a pouring out, as Amos, your young man is gonna dream, what, prophesy. Your old man gonna dream dreams. They're gonna be a pouring out. They're gonna be a pouring out. The return of the divine feminine, return of the divine feminine. And I think just like how it was in the gospels, as the day of Pentecost, I'm not sure if it was 50 days after the resurrection, they were all on one accord in the upper room and the spirit came down upon everyone. So that's the time we're living in. That's the time we're living in right now. So we're going to continue reading the Christ letters. We're going to continue reading the Christ letters, where Christ is talked about yeah, Christ is talking about sexuality, and Christ is speaking about here. Christ is talking about a woman are labeled as temptress, temptress. And he's like, listen, before the 1900s, woman wouldn't lay with a man unless the man came and aroused her, you know? That's how it was back in the day. Woman wouldn't do that. So woman is not the great temptress. And all this is just to say that women shouldn't be treated the way they are treated in the world today. That Christ didn't teach it, and he also mentioned Muhammad. I did a video on that. He said Muhammad loved women. Christ said, I was celibate, but woman was a major part of Muhammad's message. He loves women. He wouldn't uh, uh, have believed that woman would be treated like this in his name. He basically, Christ said even Muhammad would have been appalled. And I know we're here and we're seeing other religion as different. Listen, they're not different. We just call the source of our beings by different names. We call the source of our beings by different names. They're not different. Yeah, so Christ, like, even Muhammad would be so appalled to see the way woman is being treated today in the name of religion, in the name of religion. So he said, if within a culture a woman is regarded only as a possession, an object of a man's desire, and not treated as a woman, absolutely equal with a man, such a culture has not understood the true nature of man and the true nature of woman. I read that again. He said, if within a culture a woman is regarded only as, like, he said, if within a culture a woman is regarded only as a possession, an object of man's desires, and not treated as a woman, absolutely equal with a man, such a culture has not understood the true nature of man and the true nature of woman. Man and woman are two equal halves of one whole. Man and woman are two equal halves of one whole. When single and alone, the man is manifesting but one aspect of his source of being. And when woman lives alone and single, she also manifests but one aspect of her source of being. I know, here people who said, oh, I'm not getting married. I just want to be single. The divine intention of universal consciousness was to express its own wholeness through creation by individualizing the physical form. Each of the two equally balanced aspects of itself, and then bringing them together again in physical form to experience the unity and wholeness of divine consciousness from which the original took their individuality. So basically, Christ saying, listen, when the source created us, the universal consciousness, the divine consciousness. That's what Christ sometimes, these words to describe our Father, is basically saying when our Father created us, he, and remember I talked about that our Father is expressing himself through us. He's experiencing himself through us. We're experiencing our Father through our body. And I know this is hard for some people to believe, think we're separate from God. I don't know. Why would it be hard? Because if you have kids, are you separate from them? As their kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. You know, it's the same thing down here. It's the same thing in heaven. So he's saying basically when our Father created us, it was for him to express wholeness through creation by individualizing, by calling male, by creating male and female in physical form, masculine and feminine, so that eventually they'll find themselves back to each other. Because I told you that in who we truly are in other realms is androgynous. It's not like how we know it down here. We're gonna go to heaven and see a husband in our true form, in one body. We're both male and female. So in earth, Christ is experiencing the different sexes as separate male and separate, not Christ, our Father, separate male and separate female. And see what it brings? One thinks they're better than other, and the other thinks they're all the same. We're all the same. We have different roles as male and female. We have different roles, and then our different roles become one, a unity and togetherness. As they come together in love and unity of spirit and body, they discover the joy and ecstasy of universal consciousness in equilibrium. And and Christ emphasized too that coming together doesn't really mean the physical aspect of coming together. He said coming together, physical aspect should be last. You know, the physical aspect of relationship should be last. And in our it's it's the first thing that comes in a relationship. And this is why we have problem with marriages. Because on a soul level, why these birds flying so low? On a soul level, um, and on a soul level, we're not connected. We're not connected in spirit and in body. We're just connected physically, and that's not good enough. And that's where families are broken down, and that's where marriages are broken down. Of the masculine said out of this formed a whole child. Yeah. So therefore, the combination of the masculinity and the femininity of the woman is essential to make a whole child. When when I was in the desert in Palestine, I first perceived that the overriding nature of universal consciousness, creativity, our source of being, was intention. The intention to create, plan, and design, and then to bring forth the design by growing it, feeding it, healing it, protecting it, and fulfilling its every need in a disciplined manner. So Christ saying when he was in Palestine, he understood basically that the nature of universal consciousness, the nature of God is our source of being was God intention. And what was intention was to create, plan, and he create, plan, and design, and then bring forth the design. And we are that design. He bring forth that design by growing, feeding, healing. And these are the nature of God we covered in a previous in a previous chapter. These are the nature of God. Both male and female. What's about the sun? Both male and female have been evolved in physical form and consciousness to intention and express it in all ways possible in their lives. This is the very first fact of creativity. Without intention, there would be no creation. Intention is the origin of and the and permeates the whole existence. Intention defines the nature of the deed, loving or destructive. The male and female have been individualized to experience and form. I'll share my screen again. There. Okay. Okay. Willpower in the male is experienced and expressed primarily as activity. In primitive forms, he moves out into the environment to fulfill his intention. Therefore, he dons the robes of the leaders and quester. He was individualized to think and work to fulfill his purpose without the encumbrance of emotions. Oh, that was intention of the male primarily for activity. Willpower in the female is motivated and experienced primarily as feeling, the need to nurture an original intention and bring it purposely to full term fruition through the process of caring, feeding, clothing, repairing, teaching, and protection. This is the intention of the female. And we have the original intention of the female and bring it to purposeful full term fruition, bring the process of caring, feeding, clothing, repairing, teaching, and protecting. Why this sound like the nature of God? That's the intention, the original intention of the female. And we need both of these to come together to make the whole. We need the nurturing, we need the activity, the aspect of the masculine and the feeling and nurturing of the female to come together to make a whole, to make the family, to make the family. And purpose is entirely different to intention. Okay. Since purpose comes from the mental plane of intention and becomes an emotional drive, a desire to formulate a means to achieve the intended end, and, and powerful intention to do something becomes a purpose behind continued existence. This is deep. It says, and powerful intention to do something becomes a purpose behind existence. In this way, thought and feeling are married to perform the work of creation. The male is constantly roaming, seeking new ideas, new ways to fulfill his intention, to give him purpose in life. The female's intentions are purpose personified, sensitive, and stable, prepared to make sacrifices for the loved ones. Isn't that who we all are? Let's see how we all are. So it says the intention to do something is your purpose behind it, behind existence. So as it says, the male is constantly roaming, seeking new ideas, new ways to fulfill his intention to give him purpose in life. The female intentions are purpose personified, sensitive and stable, prepared to make sacrifices for the loved ones. Therefore, the two basic impulses within the source of being expressed in physical form as male and female are interdependent. One could not survive without the other. Both are needed for the continuity of creation. Both are needed for the continuity of creation. Because of his masculine mobility, his leadership drive, the male has considered himself superior to the female. This is because she remains stable, creating security for the male. I have to say, I hear a lot of successful men compliment the stability of their wives, compliment the stability of their wives in their success in their career. Because you're a successful man, you didn't do it by yourself. You didn't do all that by yourself. You have that a successful husband. You have that stable environment, that supporting environment, that caring environment that you come home to. That 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 that's stable in that you don't have to be at work worrying about your children, the bills paid, your house. Those are important. Those aren't less than what the male does. They're just important in his success. Coming home to a peace of mind. All right. Superior. Let me start over again. Okay. Because of his masculine mobility, his leadership drive, the male has considered himself superior to the female. This is because she remains stable, creating security for the male, but the feminine drive is the drive of unconditional love. You know what? Let me go get my charge. Okay. Okay, because of his masculine mobility, his leadership drive, the male has considered himself superior to the female. This is because she remains stable, creating security for the male. But the feminine drive is the drive of unconditional love, the drive worthy of the highest respect and consideration to enable her to flourish and perform her innate purpose within the household in peace of mind and joy. Yeah, yeah. I like that. I can see that. Yeah, yeah. The man role is to provide physical security and material means of the man's role is to provide physical security and material means of subsistence for the family. The woman's role is to provide emotional security and the emotional means of personal fulfillment and joy within the family environment. Let's say that again. What the man's role is to provide physical security and the material means of substance to the family. The woman's role is to provide emotional security. Woman, let's see what your role is. The role of the woman is to provide emotional security and the emotional means of personal fulfillment and joy within the family environment. Let's say that woman, guess what? Where your emotion goes, that's where your family goes. That's our role, woman, wives, emotional security, emotional support. In the past, in the East and West, the male was as exercised in the past, in in the past, in the East and West, the male has exercised his role as dominance within the home, making the woman subservient and obedient to his will. In so doing, he has bent and distorted the energies of divine consciousness and channeled them through his mind and heart into a bent civilization. Into a bent civilization, man. Woman, if you're listening me, if you're out there, man, listen. Everything is energy, everything is frequency. The home is not your dominance. You're not dominant in the home. You're not dominant in the home. Leave that up to your wife. She said spend more time there. And the woman role is to set energy of caring, energy of caring, energy of support for you when you come home. You don't have to be dominating at your job and be dominating at your office. And this is the breakdown of our society. And we talk about the enemy, and we don't see the roles we play in our societies. We don't see the roles we we don't see the role we pay, the roles we play. Yeah, we don't see the roles we play in our environment. We don't see the roles we play in our marriages, causing the breakdown of our families. Listen, let us take our rightful roles. Let's be in our rightful place, you know? No dominance in the household. Leave that up to the woman. You go out and do what you do out there and come. So if you're doing that, the woman can't be who she is. The woman can shine in her family that when you come home, you can feel that divine energy, that good energy. You just come in and just want to bask in that. That helps you perform better on the outside when you go to your job because you're in a secure home. Men who does that are real successful. Let me start that. Let me read that again. I'm gonna go until 1:30. In the past, in the East and West, the male has exercised this role of dominance within the home, making the woman subservient and obedient to his will. In so doing, he has bent and distorted the energies of divine consciousness, and channeled them through his mind and heart into a bent civilization. He has also distorted the woman's consciousness by instilling in her a deep resentment of her subservient role, which she knows intuitively she should not be expected to endure. Therefore, a, he has created a degraded and degrading way of life for himself and partner, entirely in conflict with the nature of his source of being. This is how our actions influence others, male and female. Because you're coming in with your dominative attitude, it rubs off on everybody. It rubs off on your wife, rubs off on your children, even the animals in your home. And that starts the breakdown of marriages. The woman can't get to shine. The woman can't get to shine. And women, when your husband, and then she becomes so subservient, she don't wanna shine in her God-given ability. Listen, we came when our Father created us, we intuitively we know what to do as a woman and as a man. Leave us to it. Let us shine in our God-given ability as a wife, as a mother, as a father, as a husband. You don't have to come into my lane as a husband, and I don't have to go in your lane as a wife. Let us know, stay in our lane so we can build our marriages, so we can build up our families, you know? The fact that the female has had to exercise her masculine drive of aggression to express her equality of being to achieve the respect due to her within society means that your civilization has become thoroughly destabilized and unhealthy. And we as women, we find ourselves doing this a lot. We have to go into our masculinity to stand up for ourselves. Our society has, and this is what I started out by saying. I just feel basically, it's attack on women. It's attack on the woman, and the enemy of our souls know that when we're not in our right lane, when we're not in our right energy that we were created to be in, there's such an unbalance, not just in our family, but in the world on a whole. And then you have this mad black woman theory, why a woman have to do that. We do have that masculine ability. We do can become aggressive as man. We have that ability in us. But that's only comes up when our true identity, our feminine identity is being attacked. When our feminine, the who we truly are, is being attacked, that's when that masculinity comes out. When we don't have a partner, when we have a relationship where the man not and it goes both ways, but I'm gonna go with the against the man first. And when the man not acting in his divine masculinity, when as a man not acting in your divine masculinity, what does that mean? Protection, respect, providing, not being dominative, not being coming in and taking over the woman's role, telling what the woman's role should be in a household. When those things are coming against the feminine, that divine feminine, who she really is, then our defense mechanism has to come in place. No, our masculinity has to come in. And I'm not sure if that's by design. This society was created that way by designs to keep the energy on the earth unbalanced. And women, let us try. I know a lot of women, we've been through so much dirt that we'd be like, oh, we don't want a man, we don't want a husband. You need a man, you need a husband. And try not to get telling your husband what to do all the time. You could suggest, you could be supportive. Listen, we have to trust the source of our being. We have to trust our Father, that divine consciousness, that when He created us, He put in us what we should be and who we are. Allow us to grow into our being. Allow us, men, allow the man, woman, allow the woman, men to walk in their own divinity, in their divine divinity. Your role is not the woman's role, and it's half and half, and the two becomes one. If that was the case, you wouldn't need a woman or a man to have children. I see a lot of online people talking about, oh, the seed come from the man and the and whatever. Listen, you didn't create what was already existed. That baby you have, that baby you have is already existed. So we shouldn't be arguing where the seed come from and who's more important. And is the woman more important or the male? Really? We can't create nothing with this body. It's the friction, you have to understand what happens, how electricity and magnetism come together to create that child. All right. So let us live in our divine beingness as male and female. And this really hits me because sometimes, we as women, go into in our masculine aspect of ourselves to defend ourselves, you know? All right, let's start again. The fact that the female has had to exercise her masculine drive of aggression to express her equality of being, to achieve the respect due to her within society, means that your civilization has become thoroughly destabilized and healthy. The woman is usurping the male role out of desperation. But in doing so, she is defeating the intention behind creation. Yeah. Male and female have lost their way completely. In underdeveloped countries, people are only half alive, trying to solve trying to solve the division between male and female through casual sex. As a result, man and woman become ever more divided and unfulfilled. Conflict in the family, conflict in the family unit creates stress, misery, and separation, even though they may live under the one roof. Yeah, yeah. We've been talking, especially in church, you know, about the attack on the family, and we see it as the enemy, and the enemy of our souls probably play a part. But as I always reference Michael Jackson, look at the man in the mirror. Look at the man in the mirror. In developed countries, psychiatric offices are filled with unhappy people and children who say they do not know who they really are or what their purpose is in life. They are asking the experts who do not know the answers either, who do not know the answers either. Yeah, they are asking the experts who do not know the answers either. It should be remembered also that each person, male and female, have lessons to learn in life, which can only be learned in the sex and the race in which they find themselves. Therefore, a woman must accept her role in life as a provider of emotional love and security in her mate and children with self-respect and dignity and perform it to the very best of her ability. She must recognize that the role of provider of emotional security is absolutely vital to society. She provides the glue of love and well being, which holds families, cities, countries together. When she understands her true place and goals in society and seeks to perform and achieve them in the highest way possible, she is moving forward rapidly on the path of unconditional love. And the highest reward is personal fulfillment and happiness. She will also move on to a higher level of consciousness, perhaps as a male in her next life, who will bring great benefit to mankind. Similarly, a, similarly, spiritual evolved males, even spiritual teachers return to life on earth to learn true humility and to put all their high principles of existence into daily practice as a loving woman who mothers with wisdom and nurtures all who have need of what she can offer. Where then is the inequality? This is our role, woman. This is our role, woman. This is our role as women in society. Don't see yourself as unequal. Doesn't matter what society. If we know who we are, it doesn't matter what anyone has to say. If we know who we are, it doesn't matter what society have to say. We are this emotional support. We are the emotional security in our family. Let's be that. The caring, the loving, the kindness. We are that. Let us be the emotional support. Let us not be triggered because in the end, it's about us, our well-being. Let us know who we are. Let us try to move. I know we had to play multiple roles because some of us have to be fathers and mothers to our children. But our true role, the truth of who we really are emotional supports, emotional security in our house and in the our world at large. Remove the scales from your limited sight and intellect and see with clear vision that there should be no inequality, only shared intentions to express all that you have, both drawn from divine consciousness in the most spiritual way to achieve the highest happiness possible on earth. I'm going to read this one more time and then I'm going to stop here. It says, remove the scales from your limited sight and intellect and see with clear vision that there should be no inequality, only shared intentions to express all that you have, both drawn from divine consciousness in the most spiritual way to achieve the highest happiness possible on earth. Okay, and this, I'm gonna stay here. And if we have to take away something from this earth, from this reading today. This he's talking about, we'll pick up on this weekend. He's talking about men and women. We each have a role to play. And listen, it's inside of us. We know our roles, but we also have the capability to play another role. And and that's not that's not natural. It just comes when our major role is attacked. We can't, we're not allowed to perform the major role. Basically what I'm saying, if you're a woman, your job is for loving and caring and support. And when that comes under attack by the masculine partner coming in and um putting his influence into your role as a woman, then you get into that place where your masculinity as the with that comes with aggression and all that comes out. So we have to just fight to be in our natural role, which comes with us when we came to this earth. Our natural role as men, and men is the protector, men is the provider, men is to respect. Men just have a natural ability to want to lead, to go out there and provide and be leaders, always seeking the next new invention, always seeking the next way to provide. That's who their natural role is. Women, let us not step in who they are. Let's support their decisions, even if we don't like it. Let's be that emotional support. Someone says, yeah, behind every successful man, there's a strong woman. All right. So let's know our role. It came with us. We don't have to learn how to be a wife. We don't have a woman. We don't have to learn how to be a man. We just have to embrace our roles. All right, everyone. God bless. And I just thank you all for watching. If you're watching now, or if you'll see this video at a later date, I just want to thank you all. I can close my screen. Yeah, yep. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.